let's go ahead and get started. First of all, we know that last weekend we were supposed to switch over to Luminate. And about Friday evening, I think it was about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, we were informed basically the same thing that you were. Um, Luminate's a great name. Even better idea to have a name that's aligned with the soon to be parent company. They're adopting the previously announced company name as the brand, and it's just kind of confusing. So basically it's supposed to be Luminates out, Aabaco, I think that's how you say it. Small business is in. It was kind of confusing, definitely. And so we really haven't gotten much information since then. We just know that there's going to be a big update this weekend that was supposed to be last weekend. So it is going to happen this weekend as of right now. So what will happen on Monday is you're going to have to go in and you're going to have, the same Yahoo account. This way you can go into your Yahoo Mail and other things of that nature. But what will happen is what we've been told is you're going to sign in, and then it will put you through a process of creating a new username for the new system. Now, as soon as that becomes available, we will videotape our entire process of logging in and switching over and then sending out an email with that video, so that way if you're concerned or you kind of want to see what it's like before you go actually do it, then that will be available for you. Now, under the general information, again, this is on the website, November 15th, officially change our name. We did tell you our new name was going to be Luminate, but we think it's even better to have this. So basically, that's kind of it. We're adopting the previously announced company name as the brand. Now, this issue of you'll still see the luminate.com domain for several months and URLs and email addresses. We're not quite sure if this means that you're going to have to do the switches over to Luminate and then it's going to switch again to the Aabaco. Kind of confusing. So if you have our Yahoo to Luminate Aabaco transition, what will happen is if we need to do a short-term update for Luminate and then they do a second update later at another time to this new one, we will take care of that second one as well. However, this is only for people who have signed up in advance, okay? Because once they do this and they do it again, we're going to get flooded. So this is for the people who did sign up ahead of time. If we have to switch it over 2 times for you within the next year, we'll go ahead and take that, okay? Now, great question. How is this going to affect our SEO URLs? So thankfully, the question also was, is it similar to switching to another platform? Absolutely not, and that is one thing that I'm extremely happy about. Now, I will say, as of right now, because, this stuff could change, but as of right now, all of your SEO, URLs, everything is going to work the same way as it does now. I actually have, let me just see if I can find it for you guys. Hold on, give me just 1 second. I think this is the file, and it gives some great information. Okay, this is perfect. And I think hopefully this will kind of explain what is really going on. Let me change over. It's trying to put the file over on the wrong screen. Okay, come on now. Okay, so it doesn't want to. Let's see. Okay, so here is how people access the web. Okay, so basically, what happens is you go onto your browser. So that would be like Firefox or IE or Chrome. You type in the URL of the web page that you're using. Okay, now what happens is that website, okay, is pointed over to a server. So what happens is when you put that URL in, it goes to the web server that hosts the website. And then it helps to switch it over and show your actual website. So this also happens with your tablet phones or your mobile. So what happens is, let's say that you have a person in Vancouver, right? But the server might be over here in Bangalore or California or whatever it may be. So what happens is as you can see, when different people access different websites, okay, it goes to where that computer is. So the great thing is basically they're just kind of making a copy, right, of the servers at Yahoo and putting it onto another server. And a server, if you think about it, is just like a computer. So what happens is when you connect to the web, okay, and then your computer will contact the server, which is called the domain name server, okay, and it returns an IP address. And that's the IP address that the site lives on. I know it's kind of confusing, but your computer then uses the DNS servers to go to the web server hosting the website. So here's what happens. Let's say I go visit onechoiceforyourstore.com. My browser is going to connect to GoDaddy, where I purchased this domain, and in the DNS information and CNAME information, it says YNS 1.yahoo.com, YNS2.yahoo.com. So that says this is the other computer you need to go to where this website is hosted. That would be your Yahoo store. Now, if you purchased your Yahoo store domain name through Yahoo, then instead of going to GoDaddy first, it just goes to the Yahoo computer. And then what happens is the Yahoo computer says, oh, I have all those files for you. Let me show you this website. So with switching over to a platform like BigCommerce, you would lose your URLs completely because it's going on a totally different server, totally different computers. They do their URLs completely differently. But basically for this change that Yahoo's doing, it's basically like saying, here, we're going to make a copy of this server onto this server, and we're just going to give it a new name. That's what all these backups are about, you know? So what's going to happen is over the weekend, probably, it's going to tell the DNS that instead of coming to Yahoo's computer to grab all of the pages in your store and your files, we want you to go to this Aabaco computer instead. So the reason why you want to change your DNS information as soon as it's available is because you can kind of see how, you know, when this web page works, what's happening is you're connecting, then it's going to the DNS. The DNS goes to the computer hosting it, which might be, in this case, it's Paris, and then it comes back over and around and gives you the page. So if it has to stop at Yahoo and Yahoo says, oh, sorry, we're not hosting this page anymore, but I'm going to redirect you to the new servers that are. I don't like all this redirecting going on, because you can see how this could become a complicated process, right? So I try to eliminate that step, which I think is better for everybody. That's my own personal, information. But excuse me. So this is how it kind of works, if that makes sense, okay? Um, and so it's basically they're changing around those computers, and so that's what's going to be really great. Another question, I missed the last 10 minutes. Are you going to put a link to this webinar? Yes, as soon as I get all of this, the video completed, uploaded, all that good stuff, then I will send out the links to the replay and also where to go to get all the rest of the information that we're covering here, okay? Let me go ahead and switch this out so we can get back on track. So hopefully that kind of explains. I know it's kind of a long version of what happens, but I hope that that helps to kind of explain it. So here's another redirect that's happening. Normally, if you want to get to your store, you type in smallbusiness.yahoo.com, or usually, I put in, gosh, I can't even remember what I put in anymore, but I usually use store.yahoo.com. Now, here's a great kind of instance to show you what happens with the redirect. Go to your browser and type in store.yahoo.com. So what's happening is it's going to the DNS server. The DNS is saying, here's where the server is located, go there. And then the server is saying, store.yahoo doesn't work anymore, but I'm going to redirect you to smallbusiness.yahoo.com. That's how those kind of redirects work. Okay, perfect example. So what will happen is we'll now start logging in to the different address that will go in on Monday. So hopefully that kind of explains the process, because it is kind of confusing, and I know I totally went geek on you. I apologize. Okay, will I need to change my Yahoo login to access the control panels? Yes, that's going to happen on Monday. You'll create that new login ID to access the Aabaco Small Business, if that's how you pronounce it. And then when the transfer is ready, you're going to be prompted to put in the existing Yahoo ID that you're using now to log into your store, and then create a new one. You're still need your original ID and password to access your business mail. One of the questions I've received is, well, how is that going to change? Is the POP3 servers going to change, etc.? Now, with the and that's a great question. So if you're using POP server settings, you'll notice that the server name is pop.mail.yahoo.com. Now, they're going to have a new kind of email system, but yet you can still use this POP or your Yahoo mail. It's just going to a different site to access your store. Now, those may change. They haven't said anything yet. But if it does, we'll go over it. We'll show you how to do it. And of course, if you have our transition, if you bought our transition service, we'll take care of that and help you set that up as well. Okay. Now, great question. Will my magic button work after I change my login ID? No, it will not. So a lot of people have on their site, it's a little magic button, and it's quite lovely. But basically what it is, it's a little link in the bottom corner of their website that if they're on a certain page in their store, when they click on that link, it goes into that page in the store editor. So again, if you do have the transition service, we'll take care of that magic button So that way it will continue to work as soon as we have an update for it. Otherwise, if you don't want to use our transition service, but you do want to get it updated, we'll charge probably half of what we normally do when we install it, because yes, it's going to have to change because right now it's going to Yahoo. Great question. Very, very, very good question. Thank you. All right. So this weekend, will your live site be down? What Yahoo is saying is they don't expect to have any downtime. However, there is going to be a time where you're not going to be able to access your control panel. Many of you probably came in Monday morning and wondered why your stats for the weekend dropped down to nothing. That's because they did do an upgrade on some software last weekend, but it wasn't the big one that was expected. All right. The big one is scheduled for this weekend, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. November 14th and 15th. Now, Yahoo has also stated that they probably allowed themselves more time than they actually needed, but they always plan for the longer case. We'll be checking it throughout Saturday and Sunday, and again, as soon as it becomes available, we will go in, do the video, and then shoot it over to you right away. Another great question. What if we have unpublished pages? Will they stay unpublished, or should I download them and re-upload via Catalog Manager after the transition? That's a great question. I will say that we have stopped doing a lot of big changes on the stores, because eventually what's going to happen is they've got to take your current website and put it over into this other computer, right? So they have to move it all over there. We have not been told if you're doing changes, today, what's going to happen with that. I'm going to assume that everything will be okay, but I'm not taking any chances. So what we're kind of doing is kind of stopping all changes until they get this done. There's a few little issues that we're taking care of right now, but anything big, we really are like putting it on hold, because it would be a disaster to lose it. So Casey, what I would probably recommend for you, and actually for everybody, to be completely honest, I'm under the impression that you should always be safe rather than sorry. Okay. So what I would probably recommend for everybody here, as a just in case, okay, go to your catalog manager. Okay. Go to upload, download, and then click on download. And you're going to be able to choose which table that you want to use. Most people just have the default table, but go ahead and click on that download button and just download everything just to be safe. I don't expect there to be any problems, but you know what? I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I would definitely recommend that. I'm sure you're not going to have any problems, but I like the what if you're screwed. I'm not going to do that. So just download a copy of your catalog manager, keep it somewhere safe, and it should be okay. Just major changes though, like a new design, or like those kind of things, we've been holding off on. So that's kind of where we've been at, just to play it, again, better safe than sorry. All right, so the transition to Illuminate, in your file, I put in links to the Yahoo information, the Yahoo FAQ, the Yahoo checklist. I also have the One Choice 2015 files. We have our checklist in it as well. Once we understand more of the changes and we're ready to start transition, what we're going to do is update that checklist, and then everybody who has purchased the transition service, they'll get their own file that has everything that needs to be done. That way, you can basically, excuse me, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, you can have a list of everything that needs to get done, but we're going to have a copy of that list just in case you're the do-it-yourselfer. Okay. Um, Okay, great question from Darren. If they switch the Luminate stuff to Aabaco a couple of months from now, will sites program between now and then need to purchase the transition service for a second transition? So no, we're taking care of all of that that needs to be crossed over until it's done and over with. That way, we don't have to worry about um, not getting you switched or getting you switched or getting it taken care of. We're just going to take care of it. And if there's additional changes a couple months from now when they drop the luminate.com, then we'll take care of that as well. We're not going to have you guys do a second service. We're just going to take care of it. I will say, though, that the price is definitely going to go up. Um, you know, as we get closer and know information. So the ones that purchase now, you're all taken care of. All right, additional links. I have created that Google Drive folder that has lots of goodies. That is there. So here is what the drive looks like. Okay. And one of the things you'll notice is there is a new file up here with the holiday shipping graphics, which I will be getting to shortly, that I really hope you guys are going to be, will like them. Contact us form. We're going to be using emailmeform.com. Darren, I'm going to go ahead and put one into your website because you're going to need it. So I've got your site up so we can put that contact us form inside of it. Show how it's done. And then, of course, the holiday graphics, there's a link to that. So I'll just show you the graphics real quick. We wanted to help create some graphics that you can use on your website that really help your customers understand what those deadlines are. It's very important to let them know that. I certainly would have never thought that for standard shipping, it would have to be by December 15th and priority the 21st. And I'm that persona of a last minute shopper. So if you offer USPS, UPS, FedEx, there's one. If you just use FedEx, you have your own. If you just use UPS, you have your own. And of course, if you just use USPS, you have your own as well. Okay, so let's see, adding the holiday graphics. I'm going to go ahead and show that too, but I just want to say, what's great about this is you can add this image to your caption, your final text. You can link it to your shipping page. If you have a responsive design, and I apologize, this isn't doing the most recent that we added, and actually I guess there's two of them, so I apologize for that. Let's see, let's do it from, so I apologize, there's an extra page in there. So actually, you could do it from, but put it into, depending on your site, left nav, captions, final text, link it to the shipping page. Now, if you have a responsive site, you're going to add the class image responsive to your image. I'm going to show you that, okay? And then there's tutorials on how to do all this stuff, and I've got a link for that as well. Those links and the PDF and everything are in that group file that I put into the chat room earlier, so that way you can access those. Okay, so we're going to start first with the Email Me form. Emailmeform.com has an absolutely wonderful, wonderful, wonderful system where you can do a free contact us form and you can make it safe for your customers. They have a free version available, and let me click on the plans to show you. So they have a basic free, you can use 3 different themes, 1 user, and it's 100 subscriptions per month, which most people don't have over 100 contact us forms coming in, so they're good with that. If we've installed your Contact Us form under our account, we actually have the Pro account, so your submissions are absolutely fine. Here's how to set this up. First, we're going to go and log into the software. And up here, we're going to click on Add a Form. And we're going to go to the template section because there's so many pre-made forms there that are absolutely wonderful. And I just want to double check that I can see questions if there are any new ones so I can update as we go. Oh, okay, we're good. All right, so this is a testimonial form if you wanted to add it to your site. There's a product review form that you can put in. Now, this isn't going to post these on your website, but you will get a copy of it. I don't use any of the other ones, to be completely honest, except for the contact form. And so if you're under marketing, under templates, and then under here, click on the contact form. Now, there are some other ones that they have for like request a quote. Those are really good for people that, they're calling you and they're like, hey, if I want to do this, can you give me a quote? Well, you can use email me form to set that up so they can send you those quotes. So here we're going to click customize this form. Now this is the heading, and you could change this. You could say, feel free to contact us with any questions you may have, or, give us a call. Whatever you want to put, you can put that in here. Here is the name that's going to show up. So maybe instead of saying contact form, maybe instead we're going to use the name of the business. So contact, and then we'll put urgent survival. Darren, if you could, in the questions box, can you give me the email address you would like for this form, and I'll add it in here. Okay. Now, there's the description. Here is our English. Now, this has a success message so that once they complete it, they see this message. If you want to adjust it, you would click edit, and then you can put in, whatever you may like. So this one for now, it's going to say, thank you, your submission has been saved. You could also change it to a redirect URL, okay? Rick, absolutely, this is awesome, and I'm recording it, so that way if you can watch the replay, and it's going to show it all the way from the beginning too. Or if you want us to do it, we have it on our site. Okay. Sorry, I had to grab a drink. Some people like to have a redirect URL. This might be where you have a special page on your website that you just want to say thank you, and you can go in and edit that right there, okay? Darren, so since you don't have that set up yet, I'm going to use the regular one, and of course, then once you get updated, you can go in if you want and change it up when you create your own account, or email us and we'll change it over to that. Label a placement. This is top aligned, or it could be left aligned, where it's to the left of it. Personally, I'm a big fan of the top align. It just works a lot better. You could change the form width if you want. I like to leave it at the 540. Send button alignment. You can change this to left, middle, or right. Now, this is the anti-spam. The one that I really like to use is the Smart reCAPTCHA verification. What it does is, normally it doesn't show the reCAPTCHA. But if somebody hits submit and they think it's a bot, then it will ask them to submit it. And the reason why I like that setting and I don't want to have it where none, there isn't one because you'll get a lot of spam, or always have it on there. There's some people that have such a hard time with those captchas, and I don't want to like drive them crazy. So I use the smart reCAPTCHA field because it allows basically that person, if they think it's a bot, then only then it's going to ask them. You can also limit form activity. I usually don't do anything with that. You can also click to receive uploaded files. So for instance, a Rustic Garden does a lot with fences and gates. This would be a great contact us form that they could use to have somebody maybe upload their plans. Time zone, which really helps you to know when they came. There's also an enable, save, and resume. This is really nice if you have somebody doing like a complicated quote. If it's just a simple contact us, I would not put that in there, to be perfectly honest, okay? Once I've got it all done and everything looks real good, maybe because it's not really a site that's used by companies, maybe I don't want it, I can get rid of it. And it will say, are you sure you want to delete it? Yes, I'm sure. If I decide later that I do want to add it, all I have to do is click on add a field, and I can add paragraph or checkbox. Maybe I can say what's the best time to call. I can put in something for a website where they can upload an image, those kind of things that will help with getting the customer to give us the information that they need. Once you're done, you're going to click on Save Form. Now, this little window pops up, and what you want to click on next is Modify Email Notifications for this form. This is where we're going to put in the email address. Now, because it's our account, they put ours in automatically. So what I'm going to do is type in Darren's address. I'm going to pause the screen, though, for just a moment, so that way I'm not sharing it with everybody. So I typed it in, I'm clicking Add Email, and then I'm clicking on Save Changes. Now I can open a new one, I can continue editing, or I can go back to the form manager. I'm going to go to my form manager and I'm going to unpause the screen. So here is the form that we just created. I can look at the data that comes in. Maybe I'm not getting the emails or I want to see it, which is why a lot of people prefer to make their own account. I can edit, I can view, I can look at notifications. The big thing that I want right now is the code. So I'm going to click on, here's our form we created, and I'm going to click on code. Embed is the simplest and easiest to use. All I have to do is select this embed code and then copy. That's it. Now I'm going to go into my store. And we'll go into Store Editor. And I'm going to create a Contact Us page. Normally, I like to be in Advanced Editor so that I can go into Contents, New, and I'm going to use the ID Contact-Us and hit Continue. And the name, Contact Us. And then in the caption field, all I have to do is hit Paste. There's my script, and click Update. And there you go. We now have a form on our website where they can contact us. Simple, easy to do. All right, now we've done that part. Now you can also, by the way, in your email me form, you can go in and change colors, all that good stuff to make it match within your site. There's a lot that you can do with it. The big thing that you have to know is, how do I put it in my site? basically you grab that embed code right here and just paste it into your Contact Us page or any page at all in your store. It will work with all of them. Now let's look at the holiday graphics. For the holiday graphics right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and put in the very first one that has multiple. I can remove this later, but I'd like to show how to do it. The first step that I'm going to do in Store Editor is I'm going to click on Files. And you might have a newer version of Files. You've probably seen it before. This is kind of the older style of it. I'm not sure how Yahoo decides which one has the new or the old, but either way, you'll click on Files. We're going to upload our file. Holiday, and here's our JPEG. Now, if you have the older version of the Yahoo Store file system, you have to put a name in here. What most people do make the mistake of doing is not putting in the dot file extension. So if it's a .gif or .jpeg, they usually forget that. I want to have a better name for this file, so I'll call this holiday shipping.jpg. You can't use spaces, so if you want to have two words, I like to put in that hyphen and click send. Now I can click on this link here and it will give me the URL of the image location so that I can put it in to my store using HTML. So I'm going to copy this image location and I'll click on the back button. If you have the newer search capability, then you probably will see this. I believe Race Day Safety has. No. Casey, I think yours does, doesn't it? Yes, it does. Okay. So inside of here, if I click Files, this is the newer version for those of you that have it. I'm going to change the name before I update it real quick. Okay, so I'm going to upload my file. Here it is, and upload. Now, the great thing about this is when you click on it right here, it actually gives you that full URL, okay? Now, this is the kind of stuff that is going to change when they go over to the new system. Notice that the file location is lib.store.yahoo.net. Okay, that's going to be changed. So again, with that transition, if you're using that in any part of your store, we'll get that fixed. Great question. Am I able to view the steps on this later? Absolutely. I know that I talk quickly, so I will be uploading a copy of this webinar to YouTube, so that way you can pause and stop and look at it. I know I go fast. I apologize. We just have so much to cover in little time. So that's why I make sure I record everything, so that way you'll be able to see it. Plus, on our website, we have an area called specifically Yahoo Store Tutorials. It's in that PDF. And then you click on Store Editor Tutorials, and we have tutorials on there too that shows how to add an image and how to link it up. So if that's easier, or you can watch this replay. All right, so since we started out with this store, I'm going to go ahead and use that. And I'm going to click variables for this, and I'm going to put it in my final text. So that way I can have it on every single page in my store. Okay, so Casey, yes, the old Contact Us code, it had a lot of spaces in it. And so those spaces were making it really, really difficult to kind of add that code in. Because if you miss a line in the Yahoo store, it thinks it's a new paragraph. So what I would probably recommend is go back into your form and grab this new code, because they added it. It wasn't that long ago that they added this new system that is just so much easier and works so much better. But yes, if we need a one-on-one to go over it, then let me know. And again, with the embed where it makes it skinny, change the width of the form on the left-hand side. But if you need that one-on-one, let me know. We'll take care of it. All right, so store editor. Now again, you can put this in really any field that you want, but I like to use it on the final text field. So I'm going to go ahead and click variables and go to final text. So we're going to use a little bit of HTML to input this image. If you ever forget the steps for inputting an image, all you have to do is go to Google and put in HTML for image, and it shows you'll get all the basics of adding an image. Very easy. But the basics are, I call it the little alligator, right? And then we do IMG for image, and we have to give it a source. So that's src equals, in quotes, I'm going to paste the URL of my image, end quote. We'd like to have alt tags, right? So alt equals, we'll say holiday shipping guidelines, and close that, and then close that tag. Let's go ahead and click update. So here is this graphic. Now, I'll also show you how to change the size of that graphic and how to make changes to it, but for now, we're just going to show this way. Now, let's say that I have a shipping page that I would like it to link up to. Let's go and do that. If you forget the steps, HTML, put in link, and you'll get those as well. This first one, W3 Schools, I use it when I forget certain things, and it's awesome. Let's click on variables. We're going to add a link. We're going to pretend that we have a shipping page called with the ID shipping. So before our image, we're going to put in href equals, in quotes, shipping.html, and then make sure that you close this link at the very end. We have an HTML and CSS class that we teach. Right now it's on pause, but we're going to bring that back again and do the CSS, because we're going to do another class after that on using Bootstrap, which Bootstrap is the framework that we use for responsive designs. And I want to be able to show you guys how to use it to do some really fun stuff. So that's coming up. Probably after the first of the year and after we get through all these changes going on. So what happens now is if you click on it, if we had a shipping page, it would go to it. This site doesn't have a shipping page, so it's not going to go anywhere, but you understand how that works. Now, I'm going to click variables again. If you have a responsive website that was done by us, we want to add a class to our image, and what that class will do is basically help to keep those images the right size. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. If I'm on this page here, this large graphic is not going to work on a mobile device. Now watch that large graphic in the slideshow and watch how it changes size. That's because it uses a class as part of the framework we put in that's basically image responsive. Okay? All kinds of good stuff. I love it. So this is how we do it. In our image coding, all right, let's do it after the alt. We're going to put in class equals, and it's img-responsive. Now, this is not going to work in this site because we're programming it with a responsive design, but as you can see, that's not set up yet. Okay. So then we will, top side's much better. And click update. So that adds that class to that image. Now, what if we want to center it? This is one thing that a lot of store owners don't realize. Most store owners, when they wanted to center something, they used what's called a center tag. And close the tag. Oh, up, up, up. And it centers the image. Here's the problem with it. Using center is going to be, it's going to basically be removed from the browsers. Now, it's not going to happen today, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but eventually they're getting rid of it. Same with putting in font color equals. The reason being is with all these different browsers and all these different devices, they're all moving to CSS3. And using CSS3, we can align, we can color, we can do all sorts of things. For instance, let me show you what I mean with CSS. I use this little tool called Firebug. We teach it in the class, right? All right, so let's say that this here, we don't want it to be red. We really want it to be blue. What you used to do is go in and put a background equals using HTML. Now we use CSS. And now we can say, I want it blue. See how it changed to blue? I want it red. I want it black. I can also go change the color of the font. Maybe instead of white, I'd prefer to have it blue or purple. It's using CSS. The reason why we use CSS is because it makes the pages load faster. It's less coding around your content. This is why I tell people you got to have your store updated to the latest versions, because the old versions, using tables and, on and on and on, those are old coding. And some point in the future, they're going to get rid of this stuff. So the better way to do it, would be to use CSS to basically say we want this image aligned. Let me show you. I'm going to remove the center. Okay, so here is our class image responsive. What we can do in our CSS is basically just add a margin 0 auto, and that image is, and display block. Now you can see how that image is now centered within it. Another quick way, if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm too afraid to use CSS, an easier way of doing it if you don't love CSS. Oh, let me go back into variables. And by the way, if we've done your responsive site and you add that class image responsive, it will automatically center that image for you without you having to do a thing. But if we haven't done that to your site, you can add in front of it div align equals center. And then make sure to close that div tag. Oh, up, up, up. I keep forgetting. And it will align that image for you. Okay. All right. If you go in, let's see, to your One Choice Holiday folder, you'll notice that there's a JPEG version and there's a PSD version. This is so you can go in and change these files. So this part's going to be a little more complicated. So what I'm going to do is, after we end the webinar and I have all the replay information, I'm going to send you a video tutorial that discusses how to work with Photoshop, how to work like changing text. But if you don't have Photoshop, these are older videos and I apologize for that, but I have some video on how to use GIMP. GIMP is a free program that you can use for these files to make changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the graphic in Photoshop. So let me do that now. When Audrey created these, I wanted to make sure that you would have the PSD version of the graphics so you could make changes. When you first open it, you want to click on Keep Layers. All right, so here is the graphic. These different layers have the text. So let's say that you use USPS, but you use UPS, but you don't use FedEx. What you can do, if you know how to work this program, you can just go in here and select the layer and remove the different layers for FedEx. Okay. Now the next thing is, if you notice, our image here is a little bit bigger maybe than what we want. So one of the ways we can change that, let's say we want to change up this canvas size because we've got rid of that bottom row. There's different ways that we can do this. We can go in and click image and then go to canvas size. Okay, and I got to remember how to do this. Let's say we want to change it up by the height, maybe by 50 pixels, let's say. So I'm going to go and change this to 225. And I always forget if I'm supposed to click the top one or the bottom one to have it just change and go up. Otherwise, if you don't click anything, it does the whole image. But we'll try it. I never can remember it. All right, so it did the bottom version of it. Now you'll notice though that our green here kind of left the station, right? What what it is there's a layer here. The layer has a gradient overlay and it has a stroke. So if I click on that layer and refill it, come on now, copy layer style, paste layer style. So now it's wanting to cause complications, right? Okay, so if that doesn't work, here's what we do. Layer, new layer. I'm going to make a background layer, right? Full. And then I'm going to paste that layer style. Boom. Okay, that's an easier way to do it, right? Now, if you click on image size, you'll see that this image is 450 by 225. Let's say that I just want to make it about 75% smaller, or maybe about 375 pixels in width. You'll notice that it's going to change all the layers and create that new image for me. And then I can go ahead and save this file with the new dimensions. I know this is a lot more than what you're planning, but if you know how to work these graphics, hey, we've got it in here, right? So Casey says Corel Paint Shop Pro is a great alternative and it's cheaper. It's about $50 on Amazon, and has a learning center, makes it as easy to use as Paint, and plenty of online tutorials. So great, great, great stuff. So this just gives you kind of, a basic graphic, but if you wanted to change it, if you wanted to change up the colors, maybe you don't like the white, you can always click, or the red, you could click on the gradient overlay, maybe get rid of it and change it to a color overlay. And, maybe you'd rather the color be green or red or pink or whatever the case may be. Because they're on different layers, you can go in and make those changes to the graphic. And so having some tutorials on how to work it will be helpful. So I'll be sending those out to everybody with the replay information, some video tutorials that hopefully you'll find useful. Otherwise, if you've got the graphic, great. We want to help you with doing that. What's really a lot of fun is, like, I've created alternate graphics to use for Thanksgiving and Christmas in our header, for one choice. So those are some other things that you can do for your site, just to kind of make it look a little more Christmassier. Just put some graphics along it, make some little holiday graphics, put some light bulbs across the top. Those always look really awesome, and I love those. I absolutely love those. I'll see if I can find it. But you guys, if you have more questions, please let me know. We'll try to answer up those questions. I'm going to try to find those holiday graphics, though, because I know we've got them in there. I should pull them out and put them on the site, because they always are adorable. I know that they're in our site. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I could change this over to our new design. All right, so here is our basic header. So what we did is we created another one for Christmas, and let's see, one choice store one, PNG. So basically all we did was kind of add a Christmas tree off to the corner, put some Christmas lights across the top. So it's a really easy way to just kind of add some graphics to your site, just to make it a little bit more Christmas here. I can never figure out how to say that correctly, right? And it looks really cute too. So that's another option you can do. And yes, if you need help with it, we'll be very happy to help you with it. Is this the fall one? That's not our fall one. We had another one that was for fall that was really gorgeous. I love that one too. It had like different leaves on it and stuff. It was really cute. Maybe it is. No, I can't find it in our files. All right. Well, at least you got to see the Christmas version. I think it's adorable. All right. Any more questions? Nope. I think we covered all the questions. All right. So we'll close up shop, get all the recording transferred over to a good file, upload it to YouTube, get all the links together and shoot it over your way so that way you have it available and you can go over and replay some of that information. By the way, when you decide that you want to get rid of that image or move it or whatever, all you have to do is just go back in and remove all of this text. Click update, and you're good as new. You're all set. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody, so much for coming. I will talk to you later. Laura, I'm going to have Renee put it in the group coaching site, and we're also going to do an email as well. Oh, you're fine. Don't you worry about a thing. So we're going to email and put it on the site so that way it's available. And if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you'll see it on there as well. Our group coaching meetings, I have unlisted, but for these open webinars, I put it as listed, so it's on our YouTube channel as well. Helps people find the videos. Okay, well, that's it for today. Have a wonderful weekend. Can't access the store for about 12 hours, so I say get a break because it's about to get absolutely insane with the holiday season coming up. So, hey, take the weekend to get yourself a nice break. All right. Thanks again, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Casey, let's email me. Let's get together for an appointment and we can make sure to get your form fixed up. All right. Perfect. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.